Check it out! A new challenger is ready to brawl!
このまま突っ走るだけだ。
Rock Howard. Gato. Jenet. Team Gato! Howard, Billy Khan, Ryuji Yamazaki. Team Southtown!
Once the hour is too late, pride and arrogance around their brain. We will pay. Take my hand, it's never, never. Don't let them escape. Back to back attacks.
The King of Fighters 15!
What's going on, you guys? TBR here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another King of Fighters video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at, breaking down, and reacting to the newest King of Fighters 15 DLC trailer. Now, this is a big one for me personally because there are a lot of characters in here that I love. If you guys follow my King of Fighters All-Star content, you would know that there's at least 3 or 4 characters out of the batch of 6 here that I'm a huge fan of. So this was a really hype trailer for me personally. And now I do want to say before I get into this, I am very happy that a lot of people had requested that I do this video. I had a lot of people yesterday actually surprised that I did not do it yesterday, which I just ended up running out of time. For those of you who aren't aware, we're getting 6 to 12 inches of snow as we speak outside, and it is not fun. So I didn't end up having enough time to get this done yesterday. But with that being said, I figured I'd go ahead and do it today, especially since a lot of people had requested it. So before we get into this video, make sure if you guys haven't already done so that you smash that like button and subscribe. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the reaction and the breakdown. Now, I already played the video for you guys in its entirety at the beginning of this video. However, if you want to see it again, link will be in the description to the official source. But we're going to go ahead and slow this thing down. I have this set to 0.25 speed. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. Now, this is a huge deal for me right off the bat because Rock Howard is one of my favorite King of Fighters characters. If you can't see the jacket behind me on the chair, I'm a bit of a fan. So this is one that was really, really exciting to me. So first off, right off the bat, I've talked about this before in some of my breakdowns. I just want to point out to you guys the textures. Now, I have talked about textures with this game for a long time. For those of you who saw some of my old character trailer reactions that I used to kind of shove at the back of some of my King of Fighters All-Star videos, this texture engine, whatever they're doing with the Unreal Engine and whatever they're doing to do these textures in the background, they're doing an incredible job. If you take a look at the wing here off of the star, you can see the breaks in the leather. You can even see what almost looks like a little bit of wear right there on the jacket arm. Overall, the textures in this game look incredible. And I know a lot of people, the biggest controversy going into this game was going to be the graphics, especially after what happened with the King of Fighters 14. However, that being said, any problems that we had with that game, at least in my opinion, and I'm not one of those people that's just going to automatically hate any 3D renders of these characters. I know some people out there, they just can't get past that because they prefer 2D, which I totally understand because I prefer 2D myself. But I can accept what I'm seeing here, and as I've compared this before, and I'll get back into the video, I don't want to pause it for too long, but I do honestly think that this looks like a fighting anime come to life in a lot of ways, and when you get into some of what they've got in this trailer, you'll kind of see why. But I just want to point out the textures there because, again, that is just some next level stuff, and it isn't like this is just because of this cinematic. You see this in the game as you go through playing it, just looking at the visuals. They put a lot of time and effort into the graphics of this game. But anyway, first reveal of Rock Howard here. Now, of course, again, the Unreal Engine 4 version of Rock Howard, he is looking absolutely fantastic. So Rock, they didn't really do a whole lot to him. Now, so we've seen some of the characters get some modifications to their overall look, and so on and so forth. We've seen some characters get a little bit more buff, for instance, but Rock Howard ends up looking like he is just going to be the exact same as we are normally used to. And of course, we've got Yuma Uchida back for the voice acting from King of Fighters 14, which is always awesome. Now here we got him beating up on his surrogate daddy there, which is nice with the Rapukin. And then right here, we got the rising tackle, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, I did notice, and I'll try to point it out here whenever we get to it. Now, this right here, that I believe was in King of Fighters 14. Somebody can let me know in the comments section, but I believe that was part of his counter in 14. If I remember correctly. So that isn't necessarily the new move. There is a new move in here though, from what I could tell. So we aren't going to have, now there, I want to point out something real quick. And I will point out that new move when we come to it, or at least what I believe is a new move, because I don't remember ever seeing it. But I want to point something out here. So the effects right there look absolutely awesome. There's a lot of depth, the different variations in the glows going on here, the colors, just the way that this tapers off here, absolutely incredible stuff. It looks fantastic. Again, textures and little details in this game look absolutely awesome. Man, I cannot believe we're only, what, 2 weeks now away from this? I cannot wait. Then we got Joe here. Now that right there is what I believe is brand new. I believe that that is a new skill. I could be wrong, but I do believe that that is a new skill there. So somebody can let me know in the comment section, but I'm pretty sure that it is. So now we have I guess the level 1 super, I'm assuming, yeah, because he's canceling into a level 2. So he's going to cancel into his Raging Storm, which is his level 2 super. And again, the particle effects look amazing. Now right here we got the climax, and look at the texture in the eyeball. The eyeball looks fantastic. Now, that may seem weird, but eyes are something that can sometimes be really off with these games. But even if you look at this thumbnail, again, I'm not trying to sit here and pick nits, right? But my God, the textures in some of this stuff and the little attentions to detail look phenomenal. And mind you, this is his climax finisher, which means that this is going to be what you'll see in the game. Looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Then we've got, again, the particle effects, all these different effects, the warping going on. So much detail gone into this. Actually, something that's even worth pointing out there is even look at just the detail right here in the shirt and in his abs, and just the way that this comes up, everything's folding in what feels like a natural way. This game, whether you like 3D graphics or not, looks great. You can't, if you're being mature and unbiased, you can't say that the graphics don't look good, even if you're not a fan of 3D. If you don't like 3D, you can admit that part and be fine, and we can all respect the fact that you don't like 3D, but my God, the amount of work that went into some of this stuff, and especially when you consider how many characters there are in this game, yeah, a lot. So even got the feathers there, kind of floating around him. Now the impacts here too, I noticed, and I kind of looked at these originally when I had looked at this trailer here, and I kind of want to point that out. So if you look at the impacts, they do have hit sparks, right? But if you kind of look at them, and I don't know if I can get the exact frame that I would like here. So it's covered with hit sparks there, but you can actually see some connection there as well. So basically my point to this is the fact that, again, the amount of detail that went into some of this stuff, and I don't know if every interaction with every character is going to look as crisp or as clean, but in general, this stuff just looks absolutely amazing. So there we got Rock now, and then he's starting to lose control here. Looks so good. So good. Again, textures. I'm a nerd for textures. But my God, look at this. Absolutely awesome. Kind of a funny little facial expression there, not gonna lie, but... So then we have the second part of Team Garu, and that is going to be Gato. Now, Gato, it has been a while, right? It's been a while since we've seen Gato in the game. A lot of people have wanted to see Gato back. And honestly, the franchise, it could do with bringing back other characters kind of like this. Characters that we don't see all the time, that aren't in historically every single iteration of the King of Fighters. Now, of course, Gato here was part of the original Garu franchise. He was part of the original Garu Mark of the Wolves roster, if I can find my word there. But, you know, in general, he has been in other games. I believe KoF 11 most recently. But, you know, when it comes to this guy here, a lot of people do really love him, and it's really cool to see him back. And again, when you look at things here, I don't know that this is necessarily a finished product yet, because I did notice, and this does come out, I believe in March. So basically this set of characters will be out in March, but I don't believe that they're completely finished, because if you look at some of the textures here, speaking of textures again, when you look at the clothing, you don't see as much of that. So I get the feeling he's not quite as polished yet, but that's okay. I'm just glad that they went ahead and confirmed him for everybody out there who'd been asking for him, because he looks absolutely fantastic. So there we go, a nice pose. Yeah, it looks awesome. Looks absolutely awesome. I just love whenever they bring back some of these characters that we don't expect. You know, the fact that they're shattering expectations is definitely welcome, put it that way. So they're doing a good job of it. Now, one of the things with Gato too that I want to point out as we go through here, which is really interesting to me, and I didn't really see much anything different that we wouldn't expect in some of his skills, but I wanted to point out something. So the elevation that he gets on some of his skills is really cool, because it shows us not only more detail of the stages, but one of the cool things about it is it shows that they actually went ahead and they put the amount of detail into the stages, and that's such a good anti-air. So good. But I love the textures. Again, I just want to stop that and point that out, and we'll finish this point though. But as we go through here and we get the elevation on some of these skills, you see how much they actually put into some of the upper levels of these stages, and they're fully realized. So you're going to start to see it here, because we're getting into the level 2 super, and then I believe we're going to get into the climax, and you'll definitely be able to see it in the climax super. So we'll let this play out. You got the neck break there, which a lot of hit sparks. I do think that they might have overdone it a little bit on some of the hit sparks. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think that that's one little thing that could be peeled back just a little bit. They do really like their effects, but we could peel it back a little bit, let the game breathe. But as we go here, you'll be able to see right there. So they didn't need to go through this much detail and this much kind of, I don't know. It looks amazing, and I'll be very curious to see if this type of attention to detail goes into everything else as we go here. So I just wanted to point that out though, because you can see the railings here, and then you can see they kind of go all the way up here. It looks really, really good. So I'm very, very happy with what I'm seeing here. The fact that they went to that amount of, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see all the way up to the ceiling. But now we have the finish of the climax here. Looking fantastic. Look at that face. Look at that Gato face. That's Gato face. That's the face of a man who wanted to be back. Look at that. All right. Good stuff. And then my waifu. So you guys know me. If you don't know me, King is my favorite character in all the King of Fighters. Like, period. End of story. There is no other competition there. But as far as the ladies are concerned, Jenet is my, yeah, I love Jenet. And I was so excited because I had a pretty good feeling she was going to be in the game, but I didn't have a lot of confidence. So I'm really glad that she's back here. but she looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, I love all the attention to detail in her outfit. Now, apparently there is lore now that they have posted their new story for these characters. So with this DLC, because these are going to be a DLC team in March, there is going to be an actual fully fledged story with these characters. So we are not just getting characters that are being inserted into the game. We're actually getting characters that are going to be fully realized with a story. And with Jenet here, it looks like she is actually going to be the character that brought Team Garu together, which is really, really interesting. So if you guys want to check out that information, I'll leave a link in the description to those, but really cool information to have. I would definitely check it out. But they do have a fully realized story, and speaking of being fully realized, she looks great. She looks so good. So the facial expressions, Jenet is one of those characters, she just has a lot of charm. And so it's one of those things where as you go through here, you see that in the facial expressions. She's very expressive. She's almost like I don't want to say living anime character because these characters aren't alive either, but she is very anime, if that makes sense, in the way that she is expressive and does certain things. And you'll be able to kind of see that. Now, one really interesting thing about this that you guys may or may not know about Jenet, so her voice actress, which is Mikako Komatsu, is actually married to the voice actor for Kyo Kusanagi. So a little bit of trivia there for you. But let's go ahead and get back into this trailer here. I got one of my least favorite characters and one of my favorite characters. Do not like the King of Dinosaurs, I'm sorry. Do not like it. But as we go through looking at the skills, not seeing anything too overly crazy in here. But when we take a look at her overall skill animations, the one thing that you're going to notice is a lot of those effects they've actually put into her actual dress, which is pretty interesting. So basically she is always flashing, which is interesting to watch because if you're somebody that has issues with flashing lights, you may want to avoid. But this is, I believe, her level 1 super here. And we go into, we cancel into the level 2. Got the hearts there. Looking so good. And then we get, of course, the climax coming up, which is my favorite part of this reveal for her. So again, you guys, she looks incredible, right? Looks absolutely incredible. But the facial expressions, some of the facial expressions she gives off in this are just great. Like, you can basically tell everything she's about to do, thinking and feeling just from her facial expressions. It's hilarious to watch. But I love what they did here. They did a really good job with Jenet. She's always been one of those characters that I've just found to be really charming as a character, just really fun. And so I'm very happy that she's here, and I'm really happy that Team Garu is a thing. This is awesome to me. You know, Garu Mark of the Wolves is my favorite SNK fighting game, and so in general, this just makes me so happy. But that is not the only information, of course, in this trailer, but that at least is the information on Team Garu. So the next thing that they go ahead and show us here is they go ahead and show us Team 2. Now, Team 2, it looks like the way that they're going to stagger DLC is it's going to be every couple of months. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to get the game in 2 weeks. I believe the 14th is when you can start playing it if you've basically pre-ordered it. But when it comes to the actual release date, of course, that's going to be February 17th. And then sometime in March, we're going to get Team Garu. And then we are going to get this DLC, I believe in, was it, I think it was May? We'll see here at the end, but I believe it's May. So I think it's every 2 months. So we'll go March, and then they'll skip April, and then May. So kind of bi-monthly. But this here, we need to talk about the man himself, right? So Geese Howard, for those of you that know where this outfit is an homage from, or where this outfit comes from, you know. But the texture on this outfit, look at this tie. Looking so good. And spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen this trailer, which by now, if you haven't seen it, I'd be curious as to how. But yes, this is Geese Howard. And yeah, the King of Southtown. Man, he looks good. He is looking sick. Now, this is an interesting departure, and this is an interesting change. This is a very interesting outfit for his official, like, release outfit. And of course, you've got Kong Kuwata here being the voice actor, I believe, since the very beginning. But when it comes to this version of this character, this iteration, he looks great. He looks like a mob boss. He looks awesome. Like, he just looks like I don't know. The first thing that I think of when I see stuff like this is I just think of gangster movies. So to me, this is perfect. But of course, we all know. And speaking of textures, look at that. Look at that jacket. Looking so good. Now, of course, Billy Khan, not necessarily anything too surprising. He's not one that we are too shocked to see in the game. But yeah, the textures, again, I'm just a sucker for the textures to this game, I guess. But yeah, of course, Billy Khan is there. Why wouldn't he be? So, of course, we've got him. And then the final character that they go ahead and show off when it comes to this second team DLC is going to be one that's probably going to be the most fun for a lot of people. And that's, of course, going to be Yamazaki. Now, Yamazaki here, I don't know if he's going to actually be fighting with the full coat on. If he is, then cool. But the textures, look at the textures again. So, I mean, just in general, everything about this looks so good. You know, I know a lot of people wanted to see Yamazaki, and of course, he's here. So we will at least be seeing him within the first couple months of release whenever this drops. But in general, you guys, that's Team Southtown, Team Awesome Textures. So, you know, in general, you guys, this release cannot come quick enough for me. I am so happy with everything I've seen. SNK deserves a ton of credit, if not for the graphics for this game, if, you know, whether you like them or you don't, if not for the graphics, then honestly just for the amount of effort that was put into this game, because they definitely deserve it. Now, of course, Team 3 is coming out in summer of 2022, so I'm assuming that's probably going to be July, and then the autumn team is probably going to be September, I would assume. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's pretty much what I think the release dates on this stuff are going to be, or at least the release windows based on what we've seen here. So in general, you know, like I said, you're going to have the full lineup here. You're going to have Team Garu in March, which I believe if you pre-order the deluxe edition, you get this anyway, so you'll get Team Garu in there. And then you're going to see, for as far as Team Southtown here, they are part of Team Pass 1, so again, you know, I believe that all of this stuff comes with the deluxe edition of the game if you pre-ordered it already. So, you know, and then you've got Team Pass 2, and Team Pass 2 is going to be one that is, you know, unless we want to go by leaks, which I'm not going to talk about those, should be fun or surprising for a lot of people out there. But we have a little ways to wait for those. So really the big thing that we have to look forward to right now is Team Garu and Team Southtown. But in general, we only have a few short days left, you guys, before we can actually play this game. I am super excited. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything that I didn't talk about in here that you may have noticed. Let me know. But in general, I think that this is really positive stuff, and I'm super happy with it. So you guys let me know your opinions, thoughts, and observations in the comment section down below. I will see you guys in the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Continue.